Revenge films.
One day, my friend William contacted me and said, "Hey, it's been a while. Are you free to get a drink?" It was true that I hadn't seen him in a while, and whenever he invites me to go drinking, it's always because he has something he wants to talk about or get off his chest. So, I agreed. "Sure, when do you want to go?" "How about tomorrow, around 7 p.m.? "Sounds good." I headed to our meetup spot. As soon as we got there, William said something shocking. I'm actually thinking about getting a divorce." "What? Why?" I listened to him, and apparently his wife was carrying a pretty big debt that she had kept a secret from him. At first, she said it was a student loan. "No, just a student loan. It's not that rare to use a student loan, is it?" I thought. But before they got married, when he asked his wife if she might have any sort of debt, she had replied,
"Of course not."
Plus, his wife had gone on a lot of overseas holidays with her friends, so he didn't think that she could possibly have any debt. I didn't think it was strange, since student loans are really common and it's something that most students use. But apparently, his wife hadn't been paying it back at all. The total was $40,000. On top of that, she had taken out an additional loan so she could have fun in university. This loan was $20,000. So the total amount she owed was $60,000. That's about the cost of a new small car. Here's where the story gets crazy. His wife thought that her debt wasn't something that she should have to pay back herself. That's because one of her colleagues had gotten married and her husband had cleared her debt for her, so she assumed that's how it worked. So of course, William was angry. "Why haven't you paid it off? A student loan isn't a gift, it's very much a loan. And $20,000 for fun, what were you thinking?"
Because student loans or any debt that a woman might have is the husband's responsibility.
"Huh? Why should I have to pay your loans from when you were a student? I didn't even know you had taken out loans in the first place, so there's no way I can pay it. You even told me to my face that you didn't have any debt."
Well, that's because it's not my debt anymore. It's yours.
William was shocked. As if that wasn't presumptuous enough, his wife insisted that she wanted to be a housewife, and she doesn't want to work, nor does she have any source of income. So, to sum it up, she said that her $60,000 debt was for William to pay back, and that she refuses to work. He tried explaining to her how student loans work, or any borrowed money in general becomes debt, and that debt is meant to be paid back, but she just kept insisting that by getting married, the debt was no longer hers and it was his responsibility. William had always hated borrowing money, and if he ever wanted something, he was the type to wait until he had enough money to buy it. That's why he asked before they got married whether she had any debt or not, and also why this came as an even heavier shock to him. He was already disappointed by her lie, but was completely fed up by her refusal to even try to pay back the debt herself. My wife had also taken out a student loan to go to college, but she lived with her parents the first 2 years, also while working so that she could pay it all back at once. Sure, having parent support was a big part of it, but she said that she only set aside a small pocket amount of money for food and saved the rest so that she could pay back her student loan in full early on. She said in case she got married in the future, she wanted to make sure that she didn't have any debt. I was grateful for this. If you borrowed money but were really struggling to make ends meet after that and couldn't pay back the debt, then I would understand. But to say you don't want to work and want to be a housewife full-time makes me wonder if there was even a point in taking out the loan to go to college in the first place. If this was just the student loan, then maybe this wouldn't seem as bad. But to borrow an additional $20,000 just to have fun is ridiculous. I guess his wife thought that college was just a place to have fun. So, of course, her grades are barely enough to pass, and all she did was mess around and enjoy her college life. To throw her debt from just having fun all to William, it doesn't seem right. My wife felt that it was a waste not to use her pharmacy degree that she earned by taking out a student loan. So, even after she had kids, she went back to work. Listen, $60,000 is honestly a little tough. So until we can pay that back, can you try just getting a part-time job? William tried suggesting that, to which his wife replied,
Huh? Why should I have to pay back your debt? Don't you think it's embarrassing that you're trying to make me pay back your debt?
So he was fed up. and that's why he wanted to get a divorce. But his wife exploded at the suggestion, saying,
It's a given that you should be paying back your own debt. Why do I have to get a divorce because of that? I'm going to demand a large settlement, so you better be ready.
And stormed out of the house. I'm the one that wants to be leaving. William was left stunned. I wanted to be able to give him good advice, but it wasn't my place to decide whether they should get a divorce or not. So all I could do was listen. However, the story didn't end there. He had a gut feeling, went to investigate, and found that ever since his wife had decided that her debt was his responsibility, she'd been using his identity to take out even more loans and borrow thousands of dollars. William was done, and immediately went to get divorce papers and contacted his wife. Please, just sign the forms. His wife, who had left the house, came back with her parents. He thought that he was about to be attacked by all three of them to pay up, but instead, William, I am so terribly sorry for my daughter. And immediately got down on their knees in the living room.
Wait, what are you saying, Dad? Didn't you come with me to make sure that he pays?
In what world? Not paying your student loans, not paying off your debts before marriage? What the hell were you doing? I'm pretty sure it's been years since you graduated college, and on top of that, you're trying to make your husband pay your debts that you had from before you got married? You absolute embarrassment.
What? Isn't it the husband's duty to pay for his wife's debt? Why should I have to pay it? And even if he's trying to file for divorce, well, I'm gonna have him pay me the settlement.
You shut up! The father-in-law slapped his wife's face and she finally went quiet. Divorce is understandable after all this. You're a young man who works hard, doesn't have any debt, and is very honest. So there's nothing we can do if you choose to divorce her.
Then who's gonna pay the debt?
You, obviously! While his father-in-law was livid, William revealed all of the other loans that his wife had been taking out. Even his wife went completely pale at this.
No, I was planning on talking to you about it and...
Are you kidding me? As if your student loans weren't enough, you were borrowing more money under someone else's name?
I'm sorry. Please don't hit me.
In the end, his wife was yelled at by both her parents and was dragged back to her parents' home. After that, the divorce was officially finalized. The student loans were already under her name, but all of the loans she had taken out under William's name, she still had to pay directly back to him as part of the settlement arranged by his in-laws. Even though his wife had insisted she didn't want to work, her parents forced her to go to interviews, and she ended up working at a company famous for its overtime. Now she's working day and night around the clock. We even heard that someone saw her working the late-night shift at a convenience store, completely exhausted. A little while after, the newly single William called me up once again to go for a drink. Thanks for helping me through the divorce. It was nothing. All I did was listen. After all, I can't make any decisions about your life. At the time, my head was seriously about to burst, and even after that, I had found even more debt. So, I was just thankful to have someone to talk to. Thanks, man. Well, now that you're alone, come over for dinner sometime. That'd be great, seriously. Your wife is amazing. She paid back her own student loans and is still working so hard. Yeah, I guess so. And so William and I celebrated the end of that chapter. I still couldn't believe that on top of her debt from before she was married, she continued to take out more loans under his name. But, like her parents had said, William really is an honest and great guy. So, I'm positive he'll find another chance at happiness soon.
How was today's video? If you enjoyed it, please subscribe, like, and leave a comment. Stay tuned for more.